entertainment. But when entertainment comes in, it's not like the desire for games disappears. It's just now you have two problems instead of one, right? So you go between the game and then entertainment, then game, then entertainment, then game, then entertainment. You keep oscillating between the two, and they become sort of your ultimate reward. So, kids, they start going to school and they don't want to do the homework, right? Recently I saw a kid. I talk to kids all the time. When I get a chance, I just have conversations with kids. They're far more entertaining than adults. So also more honest, right? So I was like, hey, so you like school? No. Okay, what's your favorite subject? None of them. Okay. What's your least hated subject? They're all most hated. I was like, this is brutal honesty. I was like, so do you like doing your homework? No, I hate it. Why do you do it? Because my mom says if I do it, I could watch the show. Or if my mom says I could do it, I could get 30 minutes on the PS5. Or she'll let me keep my DS on the weekend from morning until 5 p.m. I can keep my DS if I do my homework every time before 5 p.m. this week. Except there's a condition. And what's the ultimate reward for a child? Lahu or la'ib. Like that's the ultimate. Oh my God, I'm going to get to do lahu and la'ib. Oh, Jannah. Right? And some kids are more sophisticated than others. And today I was talking to a child after iftar at a restaurant. We just started having a conversation. And I asked him, so if you could have anything you want for Eid, any gift you want, what would you want? And he said, I hang out with my cousins in New York. I was like, oh, that's a unique answer. What are you going to do with your cousins? Play video games. I was like, okay, back to la'ib. Or, watch movies. Oh, lahu. Okay. So la'ib and lahu, la'ib and lahu, la'ib and lahu. These become priorities. And, kids aren't thinking about their studies or about their future or about their career. They're just thinking about the new game console. They're thinking about, are they going to go for a PC or are they going to get, a console? Are they going to go with a DS or are they going to go with a PS5? Which game are they going to download? Which online game? Is it going to be Roblox? Is it going to be, what's the other one? For Fortnite? Is there anything else, you guys? You're just stuck on Fortnite and, anything new? I'm not even keeping up anymore. What do you play? Fortnite? Okay, khair. All right. Fortnite. Okay. And so this becomes an obsession. And then, of course, we grow. And we're getting older and older. He's not 6 anymore. And when you're 6 or 7 and you just want to play, right? You just want to play. You don't care how you're dressed. Your mother has to stop you. Stop, you're wearing it backwards. Come back inside. And she changes you. And you're dirty and you don't care. I just got to go play. Let me just play, right? And you're eating the chips and the chips are also eating you and, your entire clothes are also enjoying the meal, etc., right? You're eating ice cream and you're making plenty of donations on your hoodie. This is what a child does. But then something happens. They turn 9, 10, 11. Something's starting to happen. Mom, don't buy clothes for me, Mom. I want to buy my own clothes. I want to go to this store. That doesn't even match. And now all of a sudden they got a fashion sense. All of a sudden they're talking about which shoes they want to get. All of a sudden there's more of an awareness of, the backpack. There's a pickiness about the backpack and the socks and the shoes and the jeans and the shirt and the hat and not that brand. That's cheap. Oh, really? Really? What were you, 9? Right? I just remember changing your diaper and now you're going to tell me about which brands? Right? This is giving bootleg, And they develop a fashion sense. What's that? The word for that is beauty, zina. Zina. A new awareness comes in. Now, by the way, they still want to play. They still want to be entertained. But now there's a third priority, looking good. Looking good. And as they're looking good, something else happens. All of a sudden, some people, some other parts of the human species start looking pretty or handsome. And all of a sudden, you're attracted to the opposite gender. Like, Zina. It's a stage in our life. It happens. Even pre-teens, it starts happening. And the more it happens, the more you're attracted to beauty in others and you want to beautify yourself. Both of those things happen. And then you start admiring people that have a great deal of beauty. So your original sort of icons, used to be video game characters. Your icons used to be great athletes and all of that. But all of a sudden, your icons also started becoming good-looking actors or, models or, musicians or whatever. And you want their poster in your room too. Zina. This is from thousands of years. Human beings have felt these things. They emotionally develop these things, and they go and they go and they go. But even as you hit the zina stage, and what happens when, the most entertaining thing is when Muslim kids hit the zina stage. I think it's very entertaining. When these girls are like 13 years old, they start wearing hijab, but you got to look nice in hijab too. So they have to check themselves in every reflection as they're walking to the masjid. And and then one side of the hijab is a little higher than the other, and they're slapping their head like, it's not even. And then there's boys, if you see boys walking into the masjid, they're past a certain age, any reflection they can find. Giving themselves a full, dental checkup or, zina, And this is a new obsession. But then that also, you would think it would stay there. It doesn't stay there. And another stage appears as the human being grows. Allah says, وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ. This is a very interesting stage. Tafakhur is, the word tafakhur comes from the word fakhr. And they used to use the word naqatun fakhur, a she-camel that is fakhur, which means its udders, when it has to give the milk, the udders are very big, but the milk is very little. Right? It looked like it had a lot of milk, but it doesn't have any milk at all. When someone puffs up their chest and they show themselves as much bigger than they actually are, or when they show themselves as more grand than they actually are, they want to appear more valuable than they actually are. That's fakhr. Tafakhur means I want to show to you that I have more value than you do, or I'm somebody too. So what happens in the age of tafakhur? You are dying to take a picture next to a celebrity because then it adds to your value. You're trying to see how many followers you have and how many followers your friends have because that's going to add to your value. Somehow you're going to be a more valuable human being when you have a few more hundred or a few more thousand than your friend has. You want to become an influencer because you're under the influence of influencing, right? So you want to develop tafakhur. Then tafakhur has other more ancient, not just in social media, more ancient forms, right? So your education, where did you get into college, right? If you're going into a community college, you're not going to tell more people about it. If you got into an Ivy League school, you can't shut up about it. Right? Because it's part of tafakhur. You keep telling people, just starting in Harvard, it's so hard. Nobody cared or asked, but you got to say it, right? You got to say it. Or, the moment you get into a university, you applied for a university you wanted to, you're nervous, and then you got in. Oh my God, the pride, right? The acceptance letter. You might even post the acceptance letter online just on your story. For showing off, but at the bottom you'll say Alhamdulillah, staying humble. At least you put the hashtag. That qualifies. Then the angels are like, oh no, a hashtag. I forgot to read the hashtag. This guy is okay. Right? There's this desire to just show off your first job, your first car, your own apartment. Ooh, your own apartment, right? Every accomplishment is like, I got something. And tafakhur also means you keep an eye on other people. You keep an eye on other people. You're like, oh, this guy got a job before I did. He graduated from this school. They're so far ahead of me. And then, of course, it helps that your families always compare you to other people and make you feel like you're worthless. So that helps a lot to build tafakhur inside you, right? So from the beginning, there's play. Then there's entertainment and distraction. Then there's beauty, the obsession with beauty. And now there's the obsession to prove yourself to somebody else, to show off, to not just keep that to yourself. By the way, if you notice the first two, play and entertainment, they were all about you. You were absorbed in your own world. So long as you're playing and you're entertained, who cares? But when you step into the world of beauty, now you become aware of others, don't you? So you were distracted enough within your own world with la'ib and lahu. But now with zina and tafakhur, now you're consumed with what everybody else is doing and how people see you. If you don't look good, then how are people going to think you're ugly or you're cheap, right? If your dad drives an old car and he drops you off at high school, you're going to ask him to drop you off 2 blocks before, because you don't want to be seen getting out of the beater in front of all your friends, right? If you live in a rough neighborhood and you live in an apartment and it's not a great neighborhood, and your friend says, let me give you a ride. No, it's okay. I live right here, right? Because you don't want to be seen next to ugliness. It takes away from your fakhr. It takes away from your image, right? And you have to present yourself as more valuable. So there's this obsession with like broadcasting your value through things. Like, people like to wear certain brands that are considered expensive, and they make sure they buy a brand where the logo is bigger than their face. So before you even see the person, you see the logo hits you first. Oh, okay. Oh, because that's fakhr. You need to have that, right? Even though the hoodie that you're wearing with the logo and the hoodie that the other kid's wearing without the logo were made in the same child labor factory somewhere in the Southeast Asia or South Asia, but one of them just slapped a logo on and charged you $500 extra or whatever they charged, but because it's part of fakhr. And the fakhr industry, the prestige industry, is a huge industry. A watch just tells time, but there are watches that are $20,000. There are watches that are $50,000, $100,000, and there's watches that are $35, and they all tell time. But some of them are better at putting together a fakhr show than the other, isn't it? Some of them have more of that feature, and that sells. Prestige and value sells. There are cars, for example, that actually don't perform well at all. They're not reliable. They have electrical problems. They have mechanical issues. They're not but they have prestige associated with them. People ascribe high class to them. So they'll buy the car that is less reliable because it's a better look, because it has more prestige. That is tafakhur. And then after tafakhur, beyond that, beyond your obsession with showing off to people, and by the way, before I go to the last stage, I should tell you, the first stage was, let me ask you, what was the first stage? Play, right? Play is not just for babies. Play evolves. The play as a baby is something else. The play as a 4-year-old is something else. The play as a 5, 6, 7, 8. Is play changing? Play stays, but play changes. Do 18-year-olds play? Do 20-year-olds play? Yeah, they play. You can play. I mean, I'm a gamer. I'm still a gamer. I play even now. I play sports. I play video games, etc. Play stays, but does play change? Yeah, it changes, but it stays. Entertainment, the entertainment of a child. A 2-year-old is entertained, a 3-year-old is entertained, 4-year-old, but entertainment stays, but is it changing? But it's still staying. You understand? Beauty comes in at a certain age, the awareness of your own and the awareness of others' beauty. But does the standards and the desire and the way you show it off, does it change over time? Yeah, it changes. Fakhr, showing off, it's there. It's there as a child. It's there as a young child even. You could have fakhr in a 3rd grade classroom. My pencil eraser is so much better than yours. It looks like a transformer. Yours just look like an eraser, right? Some of you remember, I remember when I was younger in 1827, we used to have like pencil cases, magnetic pencil cases that had like, Voltron or whatever else on it, and you walked in with one of them pencil cases in your 3rd grade classroom, you're like, oh, snap. It's got a little compartment for each pencil and each eraser, and there's a secret compartment for crayons. Oh, right? This was tafakhur. Right? Because, my goodness, even there are schools that have uniforms, right? Kids wear exactly the same clothes, right? But even in schools that have uniforms, some kids wear shinier shoes than others. And they walk in with their toe sticking out, like, hey, look at that. This is why I'm better than you. Right? Fakhr. Even as a child. And then fakhr takes later on, it takes different forms. It's not just with kids. As you get older, then fakhr has, mashallah, different, more subtle, more jabby sorts of, their mothers sitting upstairs, not upstairs. They're all in Michigan. They're not here. Mother sitting up, they go to somebody's house for iftar. Yeah, my son, mashallah, he just got into med school. It was so hard. Your son, he dropped out, right? MashaAllah, Allah will give. The kid became a hafiz. You can't stop talking about how much of a hafiz he is. He's MashaAllah. Oh, he's so good.